Well, hello everyone. This is Robert from Black Belt Gaming. I'm continuing with my Lord of the Rings the card game playthrough, Scenario 1, Passage through Mirkwood. This is part of my storytelling series. Threat level is 36. Let's begin with the resource phase. Each of our 3 heroes gains a resource token. And then we move into the planning phase, playing attachments and allies. I also need to draw a new card to add it to my hand. These are the cards I currently hold. At first I will play the Favor of the Lady. This is a condition that attaches to a hero, and the hero gains +1 willpower. I believe I will attach this to my main questing hero, Éowyn. Paying 2. This next card, I believe this is the one I just drew, is called Stand and Fight. It costs a variable amount to bring into play, but it says that I can choose an ally with a printed cost of X in any player's discard pile. Put that ally into play under your control. Well, let's bring our Wandering Took back out. Maybe he can help us again. As I may have explained in a post below on the previous video, for storytelling purposes, I'm not considering this to be a different hobbit. It's the same hobbit. By being here in play, it allows him to not only be a part of the story, which he would be in or out of play, but being in play is going to allow him to directly participate in the action and the mechanics part of the game. We're now entering phase 3. The questing phase. It's time to commit heroes to the quest. And following my standard procedure here with this particular deck, I will commit Éowyn and the Lorien Guide just in case. That leaves the rest of the party, 2 heroes and 2 allies, to handle whatever enemies or other bad things that may come our way from the encounter deck. Drawing from the encounter deck, we have a location called the Forest Gate. It's going to add 2 threat here. It's threat cost. That's going to combine with the Hummer Horns, 2 and 1, to give us 3. Let's compare our willpower to this amount. Our willpower here, Éowyn with her Favor of the Lady attachment is now questing with 5 willpower. The Lorien Guide is going to add an additional 1 willpower, so 6. 6 is greater than 3 by 3 points. That would allow us to place 3 progress tokens on our quest card. As you can see, we only need 2. So that will allow us to resolve this questing and complete this card and turn it over. Quest card 3A, A Chosen Path. The trail winds into one of the darkest, most tangled parts of the forest. You sense that a foul, dark presence is hunting you, and you move quickly in an attempt to avoid its evil. Now, as we just completed the fork in the road, it says that when you defeat this stage, proceed to one of the 2 A Chosen Path stages at random. We have a chosen path and a chosen path. I have not looked at these. I put these on the table much like there is a fork in the road, and I'm going to need to choose. In my story I said I was going to the left. We'll take the left card and see what we have. We have another path, and we're going to need 10 progress tokens to complete it. And it says that we cannot defeat this stage while this particular creature is in play. Ungolites spawn. But to defeat this, or if we defeat this stage, then we have won the game. This is called Bjorn's Path. We've now entered Phase 4, the travel phase. We will take this card from the staging area and officially travel to this location, the Forest Gate. Yes, this way, said the Lorien guide. This path is quieter, a little longer perhaps, but safer in the long run, in my judgment. Hopefully we can avoid any more of those foul spiders or the wandering orc patrols. The path itself was narrow and wound in and out among the trunks. Soon the light at the gate was like a little bright hole far behind, and the quiet was so deep that their feet seemed to thump along while the trees leaned over them and listened. Since we have now officially traveled to the Forest Gate, there is a response, and it says that the first player may draw 2 cards. Well, these are the 2 cards currently in my hand. I'm now going to draw 2 more for traveling to that location. We've got an event which looks like it will reduce our threat. I think I've seen that one before. And Gandalf, an ally card. But it doesn't look like that he will stay. Looks like you use him and then he is discarded at the end of a round. But those are the 4 cards in my hand now. Well, we're now entering the 5th phase, the encounter phase. And we need to either engage an enemy or do an engagement check. And what we have here is this monster has a threat cost of 40. Or an engagement cost of 40. Our engagement is, our threat is still at 36. So it's not going to engage us yet. We've still got a little time before the Hummer Horns are on us. Although I have chosen not to engage an enemy at this time, as we move in to the 6th phase, the combat phase, I'm going to once again make use of Dunhir's power. His special ability allows him to target enemies in the staging area. He must attack alone, and when doing so, he gets +1 to his attack power, which would make it 3. Dunhir will make his attack, adding +1 to his attack power, giving him an attack power of 3 versus the Hummerhorns, who have a defense of 0. 3 damage then to the Hummerhorns will kill them and remove them from the staging area. The party could not outrun the flight of the Hummerhorns. They were nearly upon them. Dunhir turned, torch in hand, and prepared for battle. The warrior looked over at the wandering Took. "Grab some dry brush, young one. We need to make as much smoke as possible." The entire party worked together piling up dried leaves, old bits of bark, and broken branches. Soon they had set it ablaze, and smoke started to fill the path. The fire and smoke produced by the party's brush fire was effective. The Hummerhorns wished to avoid it. Dunhir stood at the front of the fire, waving his torch, and swatting at any of the large insects that dared come near him. Some flew around the edges. "Now!" Dunhir barked. The northern tracker complied and began to shoot his arrows at any flying insects that threatened the rest of the party. Steel arrowheads pierced their fragile bodies with ease, but one managed to make it onto the edge of Eleanor's shield. The horrid thing peered over the edge of her shield directly into her eyes. She couldn't help but scream. She threw her shield to the ground, pinning the thing beneath it, and then she jumped on top of it, squishing the insect with a sickly sound. After a few moments, the Hummerhorns had been driven off, and no one had been stung. This smoke would surely attract other enemies, thought the tracker to himself. But they had done what they needed to do, and they were still alive. Well, our party has taken the Hummerhorns out. I noticed there is a victory score here. I'm not 100% sure about what that means. I think it has something to do with scoring at the end of the game. We'll keep that in mind. Our staging area is now clear. The forest gate is our current location. We're going to need 4 progress tokens to remove that location from play. As we now enter the refresh phase, we'll turn all of our cards upright again. And we will increase our threat by 1. This will end turn 5. Please catch me again for turn 6.